The Man with the Yin-Yang Eyes. Season 3. Episode 4. After being subjected to a tremendous force on my body, I gradually lost control and could no longer control myself. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't resist. A few seconds later, my body was pulled straight up into the air, which is the exact opposite of when I fell here. But this time, my speed is many times faster than when falling. I also looked around, but the Demon Lord was nowhere to be seen. Then everything in front of my eyes blurred. When I regained consciousness, I discovered that I was screaming uncontrollably, along with a sharp pain in the top of my head. The first question that pops into my mind is where I am and what's going on with me. After a few seconds, I calmed down and looked around. I realized I was still in the secret cellar below the church. Seeing my bewildered expression, Valentine approached me and asked, "How do you feel? Is everything all right? You scared us so much. After touching the Taoist, suddenly you collapsed unconscious. No matter how I and Big D called you, you didn't react." In front of Valentine's concerned eyes, I immediately said that I was fine. Then I briefly told her what I had just experienced. While Big D was still holding his nose and grumbling, I continued to look around. There were quite a few policemen in the basement at this time. Perhaps they came to support Valentine's request. Looking at the policeman being led away by his comrades, I guessed they had to spend a lot of effort to suppress the Taoists here. Seeing me like this, Valentine came over to help me up, but I said let me sit and rest for a while. As I looked at the table the Taoists used to sacrifice, I just said to Big D, "I'm glad you didn't have to go through what I just saw. But you really have to see it to feel it. I think it's a corner of hell, a very scary place." Big D also answered me, "I didn't expect it to be so scary." I guess it was the memory of the Taoist. After being possessed by the Demon Lord, it pushed his soul to hell. And this Taoist was transformed into one of the Demon Lords I saw. While we were talking, suddenly Luca exclaimed, "Be careful." We both turned to look at him. At this moment, we saw a circle of spells on the ground, similar to the one that appeared when the Taoists performed the sacrificial ritual, but larger. After a while, from the center of the circle, slowly emerged a camel rider. It was the Demon Lord I met before. Looks like he finally found his way to this world. Looking at the newcomer, Big D suddenly exclaimed, "Gregory, this is the guy you're talking about, right?" Looking at the Demon Lord who had just appeared, Luca's face suddenly changed color, as if the thing he didn't expect the most had finally come. Seeing Luca's expression like that, we couldn't hide our surprise. We also realized that this demon must be very strong to be able to make Luca so nervous. While I still couldn't get up, Luca was still in shock. Valentine promptly reacted. She pointed the gun at the Demon Lord. With a very determined attitude, she continuously fired bullets at it. Looking at the incoming bullets, the Demon Lord only smirked. In front of it now, bullets flew continuously and then slowly slowed down. Finally, stopping completely and hovering in front of him. Looking at this scene, we couldn't help but be stunned with astonishment. At that moment, everyone's minds seemed to be frozen along with the bullets. Everyone could only look at the scene with wide eyes and couldn't do anything else. Even moving a finger did not want to think about it. At that moment, the Demon Lord lightly waved his hand towards Valentine. After that wave of disregard, the bullets immediately fell to the ground. Then Valentine's body was thrown backward, hitting the wall at the end of the cellar. Seeing that, we all marveled at the Demon Lord's power, as well as deeply worried about Valentine's condition. I wonder if she was injured after that impact? Witnessing the incident, one of Valentine's fellow inspectors stepped forward to help her up and check on her condition. Meanwhile, the special policemen began to point their weapons at the Demon Lord. Without hesitation, one by one, they started firing bullets at the Demon Lord. All special police officers present in the basement opened fire. It is unknown how many bullets were fired. All they could see at their feet were countless bullet casings. I don't know, with such strong firepower, will the Demon Lord be harmed or not? I turned my gaze towards the Demon Lord. Unlike before, he didn't raise his hand to block the bullets but let them fly towards him. Soon, the Demon Lord's entire body was covered with a hail of bullets. A thin smoke also began to come out from his body. As the smoke increased, the captain immediately ordered a ceasefire. Firstly, because there is quite a lot of smoke at this time, visibility is limited. Second, he judged that the target must have been defeated with such firepower or at least lost its ability to resist. After the ceasefire, the captain focused on observing the target. The smoke began to clear, everything gradually became clear, but at the same time, a great surprise appeared on the captain's face. He didn't seem to believe his eyes anymore. Not only the captain but his teammates were also amazed. In front of them right now was the bullet-riddled body of the Demon Lord. But instead of being defeated, the Demon Lord showed that he was unharmed after receiving dozens of bullets to his body. He also turned his gaze to the policeman and flashed a devilish smile. Once again, the people present felt like everything was frozen. Everyone felt the Demon Lord's gaze fixed on them. No one thought to move in response. At the same time, the bullet holes in the Demon Lord's body gradually closed. This once again confirmed that conventional weapons could not defeat it. After the body has completely recovered, the Demon Lord turned towards the people who attacked it and let out a dreadful voice. Along with the scream, its face also changed rapidly, as if this was its true face. A terrifying face, with a wide mouth full of sharp teeth and a tongue as red as blood. After the Demon Lord's roar, an invisible force immediately attacked the special police squad. The attack was completely invisible. They couldn't see anything, so dodging was a utopia. Very quickly, the police team was thrown backward. The Demon Lord's attack was so powerful, the Special Forces soldiers were sent flying far away. Then their bodies were slammed to the ground, making it almost impossible for them to get up. Furthermore, the Demon Lord displayed his terrifying power. Witnessing that scene, Luca immediately took action. He said Big D pulled Valentine and me aside. Then Luca, clutching the cross in his hand, went straight to the Demon Lord and shouted, "Demons, do not abuse, harm innocent people. In the name of the power of God, I will banish you back to hell, and you will never be able to return to the world." Faced with the cross in Luca's hand, the Demon Lord showed no signs of fear or weakness. It slowly raised its hand, controlling Luca's own hand. Its purpose is to kill Luca with his own hands. Although trying to resist, but the power of the Demon Lord was too great. The hand slowly moved closer to Luca's neck, closer and closer. In the end, Luca was also unable to resist the Demon Lord's power. His hand was tightly grasped around his neck. Then, his entire body was lifted into the air by the Demon Lord's magic power. Seeing what was going on, we really wanted to but couldn't come to Luca's help. Both me and Valentine right now, it's hard to stand up. We can't fight the Demon Lord. The only one who can fight right now is Big D. Seeing what Luca was going through, Big D said to himself, damn it. Knowing this before, I didn't learn to make weapons to exorcise, but according to my brother, learning exorcism was better. What should I do? Come to think of it, there must be a way? Seeing Big D mumbling like that, I said, Silver Axe, hurry and get it. Hearing what I just said, Big D woke up. He rushed out to pick up the axe. Holding the axe in hand, Big D said to Luca, "Luca, come on, I'm here to help you. Try a little harder." Luca's situation was extremely dangerous right now. His hand was getting tighter and tighter. On his face now appeared countless blue veins, along with tears and snot running down his face. Then Big D shouted, "Damn it, I risk my life on you. Will you let go of my friend?" While shouting, Big D swung his axe towards the demon lord. Realizing that the axe in Big D's hand is an extremely powerful weapon to deal with, the demon waved his hand to throw Luca towards Big D. The situation was so unexpected. Big D saw Luca about to bump into him, but there was no way to avoid it. As a result, he was hit by Luca, and both fell to the ground. So the target of attacking the demon lord had completely failed. But fortunately, thanks to that, Luca was freed. After the impact, Luca seemed to have lost consciousness. The whole body ached after the impact. Big D still tried to crawl up. He was about to go over to see how Luca was when something unexpected happened. Luca's body suddenly caught fire. Seeing the flames rise, we were shocked. Is this the demon lord's magic power used to destroy Luca? Big D quickly rushed to use his hands to put out the fire. While putting out the fire, Big D shouted loudly, "Luca, wake up quickly, can you hear me?" But no matter how Big D called it, Luca didn't react at all. The fire was getting stronger and stronger. Its heat made Big D unable to stand it anymore and had to stay away. Suddenly, Luca's body straightened up as if an invisible force was controlling him. Luca's eyes were now white, and fire had covered his entire body. But strangely, although the fire was extremely fierce, Luca's clothes and skin showed no signs of being damaged. At this point, he seemed to have completely transformed into a different person. Just like that, Luca's body slowly ascended, floating in the air. At the same time as Luca flew up, a red circle of fire appeared at his feet. Luca's eyes were now on fire, staring at the demon lord and shouting, "I command all the forces of evil here, by the power of Almighty God, in the name of Jesus Christ, Savior, through the prayer of the Immaculate Virgin, get out of here forever. You will be imprisoned in the fires of hell forever, where you will be bound by the archangels Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, the patron angels. There you will be crushed under the heels of the Immaculate Virgin." Before the words Luca had just read, the demon lord was extremely frightened. He kept backing away. Almost immediately after Luca finished speaking, the ground beneath the demon lord's feet cracked open to form a large hole. Along with that, the red flame also continued to rise, like an invisible arm pulling him down. No matter how much the demon lord struggled, he couldn't stop himself from being dragged down. Before completely disappearing, he let out a ghastly scream as if he was unwilling. Luca also collapsed to Big D's astonishment as soon as the demon lord disappeared and the earth returned normal. The fire on his body also gradually disappeared. We later heard Luca recount. At that moment, it seemed that a supernatural force had taken over his body. It was that power that drove away from the demon lord. Luca affirms to us that it is the power of God who has borrowed his hand to destroy evil. Moments later, a few more policemen arrived. They helped bring Luca and the injured to the hospital. At this time, Big D also returned to us. After leaning the axe against the wall, Big D sat down next to me without saying anything. The three of us looked at each other and sighed. I drew up my glasses and said, "It's finally over. This time we have to thank Luca a lot. If it weren't for him, you two would have been able to join me on a tour of hell, where I just escaped from before." Listen to what I just said. Big D and Valentine just kept silent and said nothing. After a few seconds of silence, we helped each other up. Valentine appeared to be struggling, and as she stood up, she said, "Oh, poor body. Now my whole body aches and aches. I don't know if I can drag myself home anymore." Hearing Valentine says that, I immediately turned to her to encourage her. "You've worked so hard today. You've been thrown from above and hit the wall. If it were me, I wouldn't be able to stand up now." After straightening his hair, Big D said to me, "Let's go home, Gregory, we need to rest and pack up. Know that we are going to have to go far." Valentine came over to say thank you. She gently raised her hand to do up my tie and said, "This time, you two have to be careful when it comes to business. Especially you, don't be impatient and put yourself in danger. If you need any help, just give me a call." Suddenly being interested, I couldn't hide my shy face. My cheeks turned red. Finally, Big D and I got home. As soon as they got there, the two lay down on the sofa. After a tiring day both physically and mentally, what we need now is a hot shower and a really soft pillow. The next morning, we got up quite early to prepare our luggage. Although we were extremely tired, the thought of our upcoming trip prevented us from sleeping much. On this trip to Indonesia, I don't worry as much as when I go to Thailand. After all, we have still wanted criminals at that time. But this time, we could properly board the plane and even had Valentine's support when needed. As for Big D, he promised himself that he must find the lantern containing Wen's soul and bring it back no matter how difficult it is. Only then can he help Wen's soul truly escape. Only then would he be able to stop feeling guilty about the death of the little sister he loved so much. Watching Big D get ready, I spoke up and said to him, "This time we can go on the road properly, so we don't have to worry about luggage. I think we should bring some clothes. Instead, prepare a little more exorcism tools. I've heard my master say that the magicians in this area are extremely dangerous. Their use of magic is also very strange. It cannot be underestimated." While we were talking, suddenly there was a call from the shop below. Seeing that, Big D was annoyed. "I don't know which troublesome person is coming at this time. You go down and tell him that we are repairing the shop, temporarily not accepting customers." As I went down the stairs, I wondered who would come all the way here to find us. Obviously we already have a sign that closes the shop. When I got to the store, I saw an old man standing there. Looking at his sad face, I don't know what happened to him, but I guess it must have been a pretty bad thing. I slowly approached the man and said, "Sorry sir. We are currently on hiatus. During this time, we are unable to receive guests. If you need anything, just leave your phone number. We will contact you later." After hearing what I said, the man still had no intention of leaving. He said, "It is true that I have a very important business, need to see Master King. Would you mind passing the word on to me?" Faced with the man's stubborn attitude, I had to tell him the truth. "Honestly, we are going to have to go far. We have already prepared our plane tickets, so we cannot stay any longer. Please forgive me." When I said that, the man replied, "It won't take long, I promise. I just asked Master King for a small favor." After talking for a while, I also gave up not knowing how to deal with this man. Because no matter what I said, he wouldn't come back. I asked him if something was wrong. He had to meet Big D before he would say anything. I'm really out of ways. At this moment, Big D also walked down the stairs. When he got there, he immediately said, "It turned out to be Mr. Tony. What is it that you must meet me?" "It's okay, Gregory, let him in." Knowing that there is not much time left, Big D can't refuse this friend of his. There's a reason why Big D decided to linger like that. He and Tony have known each other for a long time. Big D knows that Tony is a very well-behaved person, never wanting to cause trouble for others. If it weren't for an emergency, he certainly wouldn't have wanted to make things as difficult for us as he is now. Then Big D invited Tony inside and made tea. As soon as he sat down in his chair, he handed Big D a large envelope and said, "Do you remember Anthony, my son? I think it's gone already. I'm so worried, is there something wrong with it?" Hearing Tony says that, Big D couldn't help but ask in surprise, "Didn't the last time you saw me, you said that he was in a special military training session, so he rarely contacted home. Maybe he's on a mission. You were too worried already." After listening to Big D, Tony said sadly, "Although he is very busy, he still contacts me from time to time. But for over a month now, I have had no news of it. I am very worried." Seeing his friend like this, Big D immediately handed the envelope to me and said, "See if anything is missing in here. If that's enough, perform magic to show Tony his son. This also doesn't take long. Hurry up, and we'll go to the airport." I immediately opened the envelope to check. Fortunately, Mr. Tony had prepared everything. Because his son is a soldier, he is always worried about his safety. Before he left the house, Tony took a few drops of Anthony's blood and soaked it in cotton to be used when needed. I immediately took the necessary things and took Tony inside, where a water basin was already placed. After asking about Anthony's birthday, I immediately wrote on a talisman. After burning the charm, I dropped all the necessary things and the burning talisman into the water basin. Soon, images of Anthony appeared. Look at the water basin. The three of us could not help but be surprised, because it was not a military barracks. It looks like an arena that gangsters often set up underground to hold matches and collect bets. I immediately said to Mr. Tony, "Looks like your son wasn't at the barracks. If I'm not mistaken, he's the one wearing the wolf mask." At this point, Mr. Tony appeared extremely alarmed. His bad premonitions came true. He added to us that he often had nightmares. In his dreams, his son came back and kept calling his name as if he wanted help. Up until now, Big D had remained silent, but now he spoke up. "Looks like I have to change the flight." Hearing Big D say that, I was somewhat surprised. But then I quickly understood. After all, saving a living person is more important than rescuing a dead soul. Once again, our Indonesia trip was postponed.